So we started this trip up to the Isle of Mull. We'd landed in Glasgow the night before, stopped the night in Glasgow, and was now travelling up. We was heading through the Loch Lomond National Park by the shore of Loch Lomond. It had obviously been snowing very heavily earlier on in the morning as we was travelling up, and we encountered a few problems with traffic and blocked roads. So we had to make a decision and decided to stop off, get a few of these shots from the shore of Loch Lomond before turning back and heading back down to the bottom of the national park and taking a diverted route up towards Stirling and across from Stirling, which took us the other side of Loch Lomond, which put us out as way quite a considerable time. But we managed to make a later ferry which we booked for 4 o'clock. We encountered a few icy roads and a few small narrow roads, so we did have a bit of a laugh on the way up, thinking that it was like on the ice road trucking show, but we managed to pass it with flying colours, get there safe and sound, just in time for the ferry to board to the Isle of Mull. So we managed to catch this cormorant on these old, it looks like an old docking landing stage. As you can see, the traffic is all queuing up, and this was actually on the return back from where the accident was, trying to get back to a road that we could actually get through. So this is where we was actually travelling back towards a diverted route which would take us up towards Stirling. So yes, it was quite an eventful morning, quite a cold morning, and this is where we actually was boarding the ferry. You can see the front of the ferry lifting up. We're actually in the lanes waiting to board the ferry to the Isle of Mull. Okay, we're ready, we've arrived in time for the ferry. As you can see, we've got calm waters, fairly clear skies. So this is about 4 o'clock in the evening, we'd boarded the ferry. Not many passengers up on deck as it was quite cold. It was around about 22nd of January 2019. So we had a few shots as we was leaving Port of Oban. Just enough time to have a bit of a look on deck before we went downstairs and waited for the bar to open. We decided to have a nice hot chocolate rather than something stronger, as we encountered a lot of snow on the way up to Oban. So we was predicting that the snow on Mull was going to be as bad, if not worse. So, and it is a single lane road, so we didn't know whether they'd be gritted regular. So we decided to opt for the hot chocolate, warm ourselves up, also keep us wits about us on the icy roads. As I say, it was a single track most of the way round the Isle of Mull. We're just passing lanes for actually oncoming traffic if you need to get round it. So you do have to keep that awareness about you. As you can see, yes, there's still snow on the tops of the hills, but it was thawing away. So we had a few shots just before we was leaving. on the way to Mull. Exciting. So it's not too bad a trip on the ferry to actual Mull. It takes around about 40 minutes. So just enough time to take in a bit of the scenery. As you can see, we're just leaving the actual port of Oban. Are you better now, Tasha?
Still a little bit shaky.
We've just had a near-death experience.
With a cow.
With a cow, a hill that was full of ice, and we're slipping all over.
A golf car and a tractor.
And a tractor. So, and a jackknife lorry on the road up to Oban, and what was the other one? Just a block
closure. Just
a road closure, I think. So yeah, we hadn't had the best of trips up. Something that should have took us about 2.5 hours has took us about 4 or 5 hours.
And then the rest.
Yeah, probably a bit more than that actually. Oh well, we're on his way. So we're heading back down on the actual ferry down to where the cars are below. We've arrived in Mull, safe and sound. You can see little Tasha's smirky face and pulling her tongue out at the back. So she knows I'm videoing. So yeah, we're just making our way to the car just before we docked. And here we go, we're on the Isle of Mull. Travelling up the hill. So it seems like the centre of the island is quite hilly. As you can see, they've had a lot of snowfall, considerably more than actually when we left Oban. So it was starting to get dark. The roads were partly gritted, so they weren't too bad. We decided to get these few shots out of the car window, heading up. So we've got round about an hour's trip to the accommodation, because it was right down south of the island. So it was quite a journey, and as you can see, there's just little lay-bys and just a single track road. But they did grit it a bit, but obviously it was starting to ice back over because of the sun going down, so the temperature did start to drop. But we've got this lovely reddish sky with a bit of cloud and mist covering over. Of course, the trees with the snow on, and the snow on all the hills and valleys as we pass by. So we did speed up the footage on the travel up towards the accommodation through the hills of Mull. So we come across these cattle grids. There are sheep and deer roaming free, so it is advisable that some areas where there's wooded areas either side of the road that you slow down, because you do encounter deer, especially earlier on in the mornings and late evenings. Well, welcome to Mull. We're here first morning. We've got up and we've got a fantastic sunrise just coming up, as I'm going to show you. So yeah, the sun's just starting to come up. We've got some fabulous views and some looking like very clear weather as well. So yeah, Tasha's just down at the bottom taking a little bit of a photo of an old farming equipment and drying her hair at the same time. So got the gritters on the road because it's still got a bit of snow from yesterday, so we're still gritting, keeping the roads clear. But yeah. So yeah, it's quite a fantastic place. We've got like a group of 4 or 5 cottages right down the south of Mull. So we're going right down to the bottom today just to do a bit of photography. Just walking up the road now just to see whereabouts it heads to. But yeah, what a fantastic day, and you know, start to the photographic tour of Mull. So we've spied a bit of a derelict small building up at the top. I'm going to see if we can just get some shots of it. Maybe with this back sunrise that we've got going on over the back here. So this was the first morning. We've got a great sunrise coming up, so we'd rushed out to try and get some early morning shots. As you could see, Tasha was still drying her hair. She'd just come out of the shower, so I started to make my way up this road because I spied this small derelict, like little croft building, what they used to use for shelter for the actual cattle. So at this point we just speeded it up a little bit to get to the actual place where we're going to try and get that in the foreground with the sunrise that you'd seen earlier in the background. So up in hoping I should just get to it in time. Just climb over. Just to get a little bit of a photo of it. We'll come back to you when we've done a few photos. Or just wondering if I can find a position to just leave you running while the sun rises. This might be just ideal there. If we move just around that way a little bit. I can't really see because I haven't got a screen on the back of the GoPro. It's quite an older GoPro. So let's see what happens there. And this is where our adventure begins on the Isle of Mull, to this beautiful sunrise. small animal on the cliff top, maybe an eagle or a buzzard, and took a bit of prey. Stopped here to eat. We thought we might be on the right track because I've seen some sea eagles, maybe some buzzards. So we're not seeing anything up to this point. So thought we might be on the right track. Right, we've been walking down the coast a bit. We haven't seen anything at all except for seagulls really, so we're heading back, try a different location, see if we can see some. Took about an hour's walk, so we've gone quite far down the coastline, not seeing anything, and of course looked through the binoculars for further on and still nothing. So I think we're out of luck on this location. We're just going to head back, get a cup of tea, head on to the next place, and find some places on the way and just keep stopping and having a look until we can kind of track some down. So yeah, we'll come back to you then. Right, we will track these otters down. Otters or eagles today, hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, we've just come to another location. We're just going to go around on the beach and take a few photos and that. We've had a look, can't see any sea otters, but what we have seen is a white-tailed fish eagle and a couple of buzzards on the way down here, pretty much sat on fence posts and on telegraph poles and power line poles. So yeah, we've definitely seen something today. So yeah, it's just trying to get that good shot, you know, get close to them. And they seem just as you're ready to take the shot, they leave. So we keep trying, but obviously tonight we're going to do a little bit of light painting on one of the buildings that we've seen on the way down here. So we're going to kind of do that. So yeah, we're kind of just making his way round and seeing what there is to see. So we'll come back to you very shortly. Okay, mission accomplished. We've actually captured 2 pairs of the sea otters. So the first pair was very lucky on. Got really close to them and they came up on the rocks. So we worked his way around down to them, and they actually sat on the rocks playing and stayed there for a good 5-10 minutes. So we got some good shots of them there, and then they started to swim off. So but then they come further down the coast, I think towards Salem in Mull, and we actually then spotted another pair, but they were just swimming along at the shoreline, and then they swam off into the centre of the lake. But we've managed to get some shots of them, so mission accomplished today. This was the first set of sea otters that we actually came across that day. So they came up on the rocks, they seemed to groom each other, have a little bit of a rest together, and we got within about 30 feet of them. We had to climb down some slippery rocks with a bit of kelp on them to get as close as we did. They constantly kept an eye on me, making sure I wasn't getting too close to them before they seemed to get back up, get back in the water and swim off. They suddenly seemed to dive under the water and we lost sight of him, and then one popped up right in front of us with a small fish in his mouth with a spot of lunch, and then climbed up on a rock, had a bit of a look round for the other sea otter and was calling out, and then seemed to find each other and got back in the water, all the time keeping his eye on me. So yeah, good day. We've actually seen some buzzards. saw a white-tailed fish eagle, but didn't get a picture of it. It was just flying over, so didn't quite get a shot of it. But we've seen one, so we know they're around. So we're going to probably try and find them tomorrow. But sea otters, it's a big tick because we've got them. So I just thought to do this quick video and obviously show you whereabouts we are. So we're actually stood down here and you can see that big rock formation above us. So we'll pan you around. As you can see, all the coastline down there. So as you can see, it's still a bit snowy. So yeah, we've accomplished that today. So yeah, it's just a matter of now we're going to work our way around, see if we can scout some locations for tomorrow. Some wrecked-out boats in the bay. I think that's where they are at Salem. I'm not sure if it's Salem, but I'm sure that's what was on the sign where we're heading to. But yeah. And then tonight we've just seen a small old abandoned croft just up from where we're staying. So we're going to go up there and just put some lights in it and do a bit of light painting on that. Hi and welcome to the third day of shooting on the Isle of Mull. We've come to Salem today to photograph some wrecked boats on a lock with a sunrise. So I was up quite early this morning, make us way here, pan you around, show you the subject, what we're photographing this morning. There's the two wrecked old boats. The sunrise should be just coming over the mountain ranges. You can see the oranges in the sky. So yeah, it's been an eventful journey. So we're just going to get set up, ready for this, and we're ready to go. So we'll come back to you later. Okay, we've done it to the first location. So the sunrise was a bit disappointing. It seemed to start to come up and then the cloud disappeared. So, but we've still got a little bit of a interesting shot, and we also did some time lapse, so we'll show you that as well. So hopefully I'm not too blurry, because I think there's a little bit of mist on the lens, but not too blurry. So yeah, we're off to now to do a double waterfall north of the island. Okay, we're now at our next location. We've come to a waterfall more northwards of the island, so and it's a twin waterfall. So they've had previous lot of photographs of it, so we've made his way up there. We've started taking shots. We'll just show you it now. So there's the waterfall. Just going to pan down, just show you pretty much. Natasha's up there, so she's doing a photographing. As you can see, wrapped up. So that's the twin waterfall there. Just been doing a bit of long exposure with a 6-stop Lee filter. Natasha's up there. She's just been up on this hill. She's just moved up a bit closer to try and catch them waterfalls straight on, I would imagine. But yeah, we're going to move around ourselves and try and capture a few more shots. Okay, we're at the top of the falls now, so we've just climbed up the hill a bit. We're just going to pan around, show you a little bit of the view. As you can see, it's a fabulous view. We're just going to show you a little bit of the waterfall. Sorry about the GoPro up and down, but I'm getting used to it. So it's on a gimbal, so yeah, there's the waterfall. And obviously it goes down through a small bridge that the road runs over and down into another couple of waterfalls. So we're going to go down there and get a few snapshots of that with the bridge in the background. But as you can see, we've got a stunning day. It's a little bit hazy with a cloud and the sun trying to break through, but nevertheless got a good view right across the valley to the hills in the background and across the water. So we're going to move on up the hill, just try and get some scenery shots of the scenery I've just shown you, so with a long exposure, and then we're going to head down to the bottom of the waterfall, pick up the bottom of the waterfall with the bridge in the background and do a long exposure on that. And then I think we'll be having a cup of tea and then moving on to somewhere else. I don't know where Natasha's gone. She seems to have ran off up the hill somewhere, so I'm not quite sure. She's probably gone to look at the waterfall that's further up. You see it come down the hill, so she's probably headed up there to get a shot from up there. So yeah, we'll come back to you soon. Caught up with a totally unsuitable footwear. Trainers. I'll give her that. She has hurt her foot a little bit. It's a bit sore, but that's probably why it's sore. We're making our way up the path now, through the trees. Now we're coming round the top of the headland. Okay, this was the last morning of photographing on Mull before we caught the ferry in the afternoon back to Oban. Travelled back to Glasgow for his flight back home. We decided to come down to the coast and walk along a path. So we decided to check out a waterfall and the waves hitting the rocks. We also come across quite an interesting photo of a red phone box in the middle of a wood with a waterfall next to it. I don't know who'd use it because there were no houses near to it or anything, so very bizarre. it made for an interesting photo anyway. So yeah, great location as well. Got some big cliffs up behind us. And then in front of us, well, to the other side to us, got some great rocky landscape again. Like we say, would probably be good for a bit of long exposure. Get them waves crashing over them rocks. Right, we're going to move his way around a little bit further, see if we can see anything. Tasha's up the top near the cave, getting some views there. This should test the gimbal anyway, so going over all this rocky ground. But obviously we're only using the GoPro Hero 3 Plus, which is quite an old GoPro to do this on, which I will be updating to the GoPro Hero 7. So because that's got image stabilization as well. So on the gimbal, if I put both of them on, I should get quite a stable shot. Ooh. As you can see, quite slippy. But I suppose when the sea comes in, it is splashing all over these rocks, so they are quite greasy underfoot. And I've got walking boots on. They not quite as grippy as I thought they might be. So we're actually coming up to a fairly decent waterfall as well. So we're going to get some shots of the waterfall. So we're just going to squeeze on through these two rocks. Had to squeeze my way through them too. So maybe it's telling me that should lose a little bit of weight. One time I'd have been able to just walk straight through there. It was that thin. Oh, got a little friend on the beach. Hello, little sheep. So great, again, a great location for doing a little bit of moody photoing, like a black and white photo when the sea's a bit choppy. Also great for doing a bit of long exposure. Oh, his friend's just appeared from somewhere. So yeah, making his way through. Get some shots of this waterfall. Can't do any long exposures on it because we've left my leaf filters and my connections back at the car. So I'm hoping you can I'm hoping that you can still see me. Okay, because it is getting quite drizzly, but it could be the a little bit off the waterfall, you know, spray off the waterfall from where it's falling down. Oh, just scared a sheep. There we go again, just blocked us again. But yeah, very good opportunities here. So again, like I say, we've put some actual destinations and coordinates on the Garmin satellite navigation, so we'll be trying to add them into the video. So if you are looking at locations, this is definitely a place to come, no matter what the weather is, because I think you'll get some great shots in all different seasons. Right, we're going to take a few shots. I want to keep the camera rolling. Just sit it down there. You can have a little bit of look at that waterfall. Back. We're going to move further on down. We're going to go more forward. Move further on down. I don't know where the tap is gone. It's be back down there somewhere. In a shot of the coastline. We're going to move further on down. We can get some more pictures down here. I think there's a few rocks, out of the rocks, but where the water's warm and old through it, so hopefully they're over this way. We'll make his way back to the car. Actually quite near to these cliffs, hope a boulder don't come hurtling down on me, so I keep looking up. Oop, fell over again. Just trying to get to where we can see if there's anywhere else decent enough to shoot from. If you're coming to this area, definitely get yourself some good walking boots. It's quite rocky underfoot, as well as quite slippy, because the tide, when it's in, must cover quite a lot of this rock. as well. So a few opportunities to get up on the ridge there and take some photo if you've got more time. Always trying to keep my eye open, see if we can see any fish eagles or sea eagles. But quite an interesting rock here. As you can see, some of the lines coming down it. So I think that'd make a good shot, so I might take a photo of that. I'm going to try and get a bit of the background in as well as the ocean. Probably better off coming from this side, and I'll take one from this side as well. Just we were going to come to this location last night to do a bit of a sunset, but as we was coming back from north of the island, seeing what was up there, the weather kind of came in and it kind of made for a very misty, murky evening, so we didn't bother. We thought we'll go back, have a look at the photos and review them, what we'd done today, and just see if we captured some good shots. So yeah, we didn't really go very far last night, but we were tired. We had a really early morning start to capture the sunrise by the boats, and then of course we had a late night because we were doing some light painting at the abandoned cottage and on the beach, so we were quite tired. But yeah, as you can see in the distance, some nice waterfalls coming down actual cliffs to the coast. We have got an old cave in this rock, so I don't know whether they've actually built that for somebody who's tending to the sheep, or if it's for shelter for the sheep if they're down here. I'm going to have a quick look. Oh, we'll come across a deep puddle. Oh, jumped over. Right. It was interesting. And we were going to go to the island of, let me just sort this gimbal out because it's wrapping its cable around again. So we were going to go, sorry about that, just had a funny moment. But we were going to go to Stafford. But again, it's the wrong time of year for puffins, because you really need to come April, May time when they're nesting, and then so we thought there's pretty much going to be no point to go in there, and it is quite expensive, about £30 on the boat for, I think it's an hour or 3 hours, something like that. So yeah, quite an interesting little cave. It's kind of got an hole a bit higher up. So I suppose if you had like a little fire, it would act as a chimney, taking the smoke up. But, and then somebody's obviously built a little bit of a wall either side to protect it. But yeah, quite interesting. Right. So, I think there's quite a ways to the headland around there, so I think we're just going to walk down to that end, have a look, and then we'll come back. We're just going to stop and get some photos of this beast of a rock. Right, we're leaving the island of Mull behind. We're now on the ferry going across to Oban, and then we're going to travel down from Oban by Loch Lomond and then into Glasgow. So we just wanted to say this final goodbye to actually the Isle of Mull. It has been a pleasure, and we'll be back really soon. Okay, this is where we say goodbye from the Isle of Mull. We hope you've enjoyed the video and that it's inspired you to visit Mull for photography or for just an holiday, walking holiday. And we've enjoyed making this video, so farewell for now.